This looks dangerous. But the Enderman is right there. That's too risky for me. This is what it's all about as well. Risk assessment. You need to be able to judge when a situation is safe and when it might be too risky, because damage is so important in this style of playthrough. You don't want to take any damage at all. The less damage you take, the better. So it's very important to be able to assess what is a worthwhile risk and what is worth your while avoiding. For example, I am not particularly confident about this, and I view it as too big of a risk. So I don't particularly want to go about digging around in that cave, purely because of the amount of exposure I would get. There were a lot of open tunnels there, and a lot of ways for things to jump in and attack me. Oh, there's a zombie there. He's picked up some of my cobble. There would be a lot of ways for things to jump in and surprise me and attack me, and that's not what I want. I want this to last as long as possible. So until I am able to tackle that in a way that I feel safe doing, I'm going to avoid it. But of course, I don't know if you saw in the F3 there, I am getting close to the bottom here, and that is the only cave I have found. So I think once we hit bedrock, I'm going to have to go back up to the surface and reevaluate my plan and work out, okay, look, there we are, we're at bedrock. Let's go down as far as we can, but we're not going to get much further than here. Yeah, there we go. So, I mean, we're going to end up going into this cave anyway, I reckon, but I kind of want to do it on my terms when I know that I am not at that big of a risk. So we're going to block that area off completely, which means that, oopsie daisy, all we are dealing with at the moment is this zombie here who snuck around and the Enderman that was around here. Now we do need to do a check as well after every zombie we kill, because if you don't know about the new zombie changes, zombies now call in quote-unquote reinforcements when you attack them. So this guy here, he might not have been there, but because I attacked his buddy, he might have spawned in. See, look at that, there's another one there with a creeper right behind him. So we're going to have to tackle this carefully because we don't want to take damage. Okay. So let's get out of here and do a quick reassessment of what's going on. I need to get myself some more torches, and I need to go up and get wood as well. So we need to see what light level it is. Middle of the day, that's good. So let's put this stuff away that we found. We can get that cooking right away, and that will give us some armor, which will be very useful indeed. Oh! Where did he come from? See, this is what we mean by the zombie. Look, see, he's got more friends coming up. And one of them's wearing a chainmail helmet, because they can track you from further away now as well. If they've got sight of you, they can track you from further away. So we need to be particularly on guard. As you can see, I've already taken 3.5 hearts of damage, and we are still very early in the place. Look, there's even more coming up. Do a quick check above, make sure I'm okay. Look at it, it's like I am constantly in range of a spawner. That's what this is like. But I don't want to take any more damage until I can heal myself. Now there was a lot of gold, or there wasn't a lot, but there was some visible gold ore down there. So, here's what I think we're going to do. I'm going to grab all of this because XP is important. Okay. And then we're going to put some of this away. like this. And I'm now going to go up and get some wood. Excuse me. And hopefully we will also find some apples, which will be very useful, because then when we finally locate some gold, we will be able to make healing apples for ourselves. And these slimes have me worried here, because slimes, especially big ones, can hit for quite a lot. And they are very near now. So we are going to take this carefully and slowly. And this is probably going to be my general tactic for playing a game of UHC, just to be slow and careful. Not so slow and careful that I get completely obliterated, but slow enough and careful enough so that I've had time to calculate what I'm doing and work out everything. Oh, he was stuck in water. Oh, that's a relief. Okay, that's good. That means he can't do anything from in there. Let's get rid of these guys now. For XP, if nothing else. Because the slime balls really aren't that much use. Sometimes in UHC you might want to make a trap. I don't think that is something I would ever personally do, because it seems that the odds will be against you for whether it's worth your time or not, because obviously once you've set it, it can only be in that place where you've set it, really. And you, in order for it to have been worthwhile, you will need someone to come through and trigger it, which might not always happen. So that's really the only thing that slime balls could be potentially used for, other than leads, if you wanted to go and get yourself a horse, which is something that I guess now is not too unfeasible. Also, something else to try and sort out relatively early on is some form of projectile weapon, especially when on PvP, because that way, especially if your opponent doesn't have a projectile weapon, then you have the advantage and you can keep on pushing them back while they're trying to get forward to attack you with melee. And it just seems a lot better, tactically speaking. So that's something we need to try and do. Now obviously bows could be a bit tricky to get your hands on, because skeletons don't drop them all the time, and also they're very dangerous to try and get bows for. To try and get anything from skeletons are dangerous, especially these days. But the best way to do it, I think, is to obtain string and then craft it yourself, which isn't too hard to do. Obviously the string is probably the hardest part, obtaining the string, because you will either need spiders, which are quite bad to take down, especially on multiplayer where lag might let them get in a few extra hits or something like that. So the alternative would be to find a mine shaft and cut down some of the spider webs up there, and they would obviously give you the string. But I'm not sure what we're going to do, because we have had no encounters with either string sources yet. Which is a bit of an issue, but we'll be okay. So I think today is probably going to have to be spent cutting down these trees here, partly for the wood and also for apples. If we can get our hands on some apples before we go back down, that would be wonderful, because then we can try and obtain some of the gold to make golden apples, and I think we will have enough iron ingots down there to make ourselves some iron armor. At the very least, I think we have enough for a pick, a sword, and an iron chest plate. The chest plate is the first piece of armor you'll want to go for, because it offers you the most protection, especially if you're able to enchant stuff as well, which at the moment we're not. but is hopefully on the cards if we make it that far. There's an apple, wonderful. I'm also collecting all the saplings, there's another one, so that we can basically become self-functioning down in our hovel there. We don't really want to keep coming up to the surface. Of course, in the PvP situation, based on what I've seen on like the Mindcrack playthroughs, is eventually you want to get up on the surface and start finding people, because people start getting bored, or you start getting an itch, you know, a kind of, right, I need to go out there and kill someone now, you know. But we don't need to be dealing with that in this, so that's probably something good. Lots of saplings, which is wonderful. We've got 3 apples now, I think, which is good. And I'm going to plant these reeds over by our hole, because I think transporting water down there would be a bit of a nightmare. I haven't got a bucket at the moment to do so anyway. So we're just going to plant them up here and allow these to grow for some bookshelves. And I need the leather, which is down there anyway. Looks like the sun's setting, so we'll spend a few more minutes up here gathering up the last remaining saplings and apples, if there are any more. But I think we might be approaching the end of our useful time up here. Oh, look, there's another apple. There we go. Good. Any more apples? That's what I'm mainly bothered about at the moment. That's because that's what we need to focus on. But I think we are pretty much done for apples. I'm sure 1 or 2 more will spawn from the final few leaves as we head back down, but we haven't got time to stay up there. It will be dangerous. Right, put some iron there. Let's make ourselves some tools. So I need a chest plate right there, and then I'm going to need a sword and a pick. See, this is what I mean about the hardware situation, because I've got that iron sword there, but knowing me, I won't use it. Which is not a good way, not a good strategy to live your life at all. And this is dangerous as well, so we are definitely going to block this up for my own peace of mind more than anything else. So that should be relatively safe. I think the only thing that might make it dangerous is a lack of light up here, and I don't have torches, so let's make ourselves some of those and stick one on top. Oh, that was interesting. Let's do that, and boof, and wonderful. Then we can put that there. Okay, now I'm feeling a little bit safer in my own home, if you can call it that. Of course, that little mine shaft down there is going to be a bit of an issue, but it seems to be clear at the moment, which is good. Okay, I don't need any of this. The apples are going to stay up here for now. Dirt can stay there as well, as can the wood. Now I'm going to make an area to grow saplings so that we can always have wood. Now I can't remember how much room an oak tree needs to grow. I think it's a minimum of 7 blocks above the sapling, I think. So I think we need an 8 tall room. This is 3 here. And this brings it up to 4. 5. 6. Oh! See? That's what we mean. That's what we're on about here. As you can see, there's more gravel there. One of your tactics would be to stand there with the torch, and this should keep you safe because the gravel just breaks on the torch. So I think if you're going to dig straight up, that has to be your tactic. Otherwise, you will get what just happened to me, which is highly embarrassing. Oop, oop, there we go. So how tall is this room now? And that's like 6 or something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wonderful. Okay. So let's put all those in there. And I think this is probably wide enough as well, but we're going to bring it out one more so that the sapling can be central in the room. And I probably need to hollow all of this out, so I think what I'm going to have to do is edit out this whole... Oh, no, Jesus! Oh! This is getting careless now. Come on, Nick. Don't be so careless. But yes, I think I'll have to edit all of this kind of hollowing outy, boring-y stuff. And I will see you back here. I'm going to keep on recording in case anything happens, but it will mostly all be edited out just because this is a tedious part to just sit and watch, no matter how entertaining the commentary may or may not be. So I will see you in a moment. Okay, I think that's the room hollowed out. Actually, I think it might need to go down just one more. So that the sapling is able to grow. I think, anyway. Like I say, I can't quite remember. But, here we are nonetheless. And once this is done, I think I didn't put my chest plate on. Duh. I think we might be ready to head down into that cave and have a look at what is down there. It's quite nerve-wracking. Oh! I hear fire. That's not good. I don't want my tree to grow and then all of a sudden for it to burst into flames. That would be terrible news. Okay. Well, let's put... There is also a spider nearby, which is very gratifying. Alright, well, let's put that there and see if it grows. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. We don't know. Look how much gravel I got while doing that. Look at that. That's, what, a stack and a bit? It's outrageous. Okay, all this cobble can just chill in here as well. Not too fussed about all that. I'll keep some out for sissy bar purpose. And also some of this coal as well for torches. Can stay. Let's do that. There we go. I think we're best off just doing short trips for now, just to make sure that we're okay.